Okay, for number 9, we are going to graph the equation x squared plus y squared minus 2y is equal to 8. The difference between this equation and the equation that we did earlier is that here we have both the x and y being squared. We have the x squared and the y squared together. This is going to turn out to be an equation for the circle. And the formula that you must know is, you must know that when you have x minus h inside of the parentheses square plus y minus k inside of the parentheses square, if this is equal to r squared, some number r squared, it's going to be a circle, and the center of the circle is h comma k, and the radius is equal to r. You must know the center and the radius for the circle in order for us to graph the circle. So here, the x squared is actually fine, but the y squared minus 2y, we must complete the square for them. How do I know that? Well, it's because I only see the square is only for the y right here, but then we do have another y on the outside. Keep in mind, we must have all the y's together inside of the parentheses and then raised to the second power in order to put this equation in the form of a circle. So I'm going to write down the x squared. Let's just get to work to complete the square. Let me write down the x squared plus, I'm going to change the color for the y's. Y squared minus 2y, right? This way we can focus on the y better. Leave some space, and that's equal to 8. Then we have to figure out what number do we need to add on both sides. In this case, we're adding numbers on both sides because we have to figure out what the radius is on the right-hand side. Two things you have to pay attention to. First, make sure that the number in front of the y squared is just 1, which we do. That's good. The second thing is that you have to look at the number in front of the y, which we have, negative 2. And what you do is, you take this number, divide it by 2, and square that. This is how you figure out the number that you have to add on both sides. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is positive 1. You always take the number in front of the y after you know that here you have the 1. So negative 2 divided by 2, you always divide it by 2. And you always square that. And you're always going to get a positive number. And you're always going to add a number on both sides. So here you're going to add 1 here and add 1 here. And after you do that, pay attention to the part for the y's. This part right here, it's always going to be factorable. And the factoring for this one is y minus 1 times y minus 1. And these two factors will always have to be the same. Okay, that's how you complete the square. Okay, we are almost done. I would like to write our equation in the form of the circle now. I will do that by writing the x squared as x minus something square. But originally it was just x squared, right? So technically we're just subtracting 0, right? And for the y, we have plus y minus 1. And we have that being squared because we have 2 of them. And another small part that you have to be aware is this part is 8 plus 1, which is equal to 9, right? And 9, we are going to write this as 3 to the second power. And by looking at this, we have exactly the same as the formula that I gave you right here. We have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So we know our center is going to be the 0, okay, 0 for the x value. And for the y value, you have to be really careful with this. The formula says minus k, and we have minus 1. So the k has to be 1. That will be the y coordinate for the center. And the center is 0, 1. Okay, let's go find our center, 0, 1. It's right here. I'm going to do it in black. Okay, that's our center. Then you also have to identify what the radius is. The radius is what it's being squared. 3 squared. So the radius that we have in our case is equal to 3. We got our center, and to use our radius, this means you can go to the right 3 times. So I will do that. 1, 2, 3, right? And you can also go up 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So enter right here. You can go to the left 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And you can also go down 3 times. 1, 2, 3. This is how I like to do it. Just put the 4 dots first. And we are going to connect our dots with a circle. You must know that this is going to be an equation for the circle. So you have to just try your really best to draw a circle. No judgment on the picture as long as you, connect all the points and then just draw a nice looking circle. And that will do it.